two-way street because
Yeah.
Donald Trump has been mad at you for a very long time.
Over a decade.
Over a decade.
It's true. Thank you. I like that question.
Do you know yet, Rosie O'Donnell? Do you know who she is? Do you know who she is? You better off not. You better off not knowing.
Rosie O'Donnell has made roasting Donald Trump a full-time gig, and honestly, she deserves a raise. Their feud has outlasted Trump's real estate scams, his marriages, and whatever remains of his natural hairline. Just when he thinks he's finally free of her, Rosie comes back swinging harder than the IRS auditing his tax returns.
Town, 19-year-old girl drinking and kissing a girl, and it was on the cover of the Post. So he held a press conference right before the View went on live, and he said, just want you to know, I've forgiven her. And the show, I'm like, what is he, the pimp? And she's the prostitute? And who is he? He's the moral arbiter of 20-year-old behavior.
First Lady Melania Trump is now caught in the middle of the never-ending feud between the president and Rosie O'Donnell. It started after Melania presented the International Women of Courage Awards in Washington and then tweeted, "I urge you not to be afraid to fail, as failure will never have the power to define you, as long as you learn from it." Rosie fired back with this cheeky tweet, which is why you need to divorce him. Take your son and parents in.
If dragging Trump were a competitive sport, Rosie O'Donnell would need an entire wing for her trophy collection. Okay, maybe not that big, but close. She doesn't just roast him. She incinerates him with the force of 1,000 failed casinos. Her comebacks are sharper than whatever rusty spray tan machine keeps him looking like an overripe pumpkin. And let's be real, watching Rosie obliterate Trump is one of the few bright spots in this bleak political landscape. The man dodges the truth like he dodges subpoenas, but there's no escaping Rosie's wrath.
I said, some facts that I just went on Wiki that were easily accessible since this campaign began. That he's bankrupt 4 times, that he got all his money from his father, and that he notoriously cheats private contractors out of their money.
Yes, and that is all
Simple
pretty well
facts,
documented. Yeah.
Simple facts.
And so you said this on The View.
And he went bat crazy.
The chaos erupted back when Rosie O'Donnell was holding court on The View, serving up the truth like a 5-star chef plating filet mignon. One day, she set her sights on the world's most embarrassing spray tan scam artist, Donald J. Trump. Somehow, Trump had convinced himself he was the official referee of morality, despite collecting wives like limited edition baseball cards. But Rosie? She wasn't about to let that hypocrisy slide. With the precision of a stand-up comedian and the fire of a woman who had simply had it, she torched him like a glitching tanning bed. She even mocked his over-the-top hand gestures. Because, let's be real, the man moves like a malfunctioning marionette.
All right, so Donald Trump is in the news again because because his show, The Apprentice, is starting again in January.
Oh, yeah.
He held a big press conference to see if he was going to allow Miss USA.
She mercilessly dragged that tragic, roadkill-resembling comb-over, an architectural mystery that defied both logic and gravity, and in just a few minutes of pure comedic gold, she turned him into a national joke with the effortless precision of someone swatting a fly. And Trump? Oh, he handled it with all the grace and maturity of a toddler denied McDonald's before bedtime. He launched into a full-scale media meltdown, flinging insults like a malfunctioning t-shirt cannon at a minor league baseball game, loser, fat, and whatever other weak playground comebacks his underworked brain could muster. Spiraling on live TV, he lost his mind over a comedian's jokes, because nothing screams strong leader like a televised hissy fit over a punchline. At this point, his skin is so thin that a stiff breeze could send him into an existential crisis.
Or not she was going to retain her crown.
Yeah.
And then she started to cry.
She did.
So I just want to thank Donald just giving me a second chance.
That's brilliant.
And there he is, hair looping, going, everyone deserves a second chance. And I'm going to give her a second chance.
Your hair is perfect.
Listen, he annoys me on a multitude of levels. He's the moral authority. Left the first wife, had an affair. Left the second wife, had an affair. Had kids both times, but he's the moral compass for 20-year-olds in America. Donald, sit and spin, my friend. I don't enjoy him.
Rosie? Oh please, she couldn't have been less bothered. While Trump was out there throwing public hissy fits like a toddler who dropped his ice cream, she was busy living her best life, completely unbothered and sipping on his tears. The best part? She'd never even had to try. He did all the heavy lifting himself, making himself look like a deranged lunatic with every unhinged rant, every caps lock-fueled Twitter meltdown, and every sweat-soaked, gibberish-spilled interview where, somehow, her name always made an appearance. Honestly, it was almost impressive. He unknowingly became the CEO, CFO, and unpaid intern of the Rosie O'Donnell publicity team. Seriously, the man was running a full-scale marketing campaign against himself, and Rosie? She was just enjoying the free real estate in his head, rent-free, utilities included. At this point, he should have just slapped Rosie on an NAGA hat and called it a day.
If Trump gets indicted, it would be really great if Mueller let you serve the papers. I
Well-
feel like,
I have put in that request by tweet,
yeah.
and
If you thought Rosie O'Donnell was going to ease up just because Donald Trump became president, oh, sweet summer child, think again. This is Rosie we're talking about, the woman who's been roasting Trump like a Thanksgiving turkey since before Twitter became his personal diary. The man who once hosted The Apprentice, where his greatest achievement was saying you're fired with the over-the-top flair of a 1920s silent film villain, was now running the country. Naturally, Rosie had jokes, and they were sharper than Trump's spray tan lines. She went in on everything: his tiny, suspiciously doll-like hands, his ongoing battle with the English language, and his complete lack of understanding of how, government works.
The reaction felt weaker this time. Almost like they've seen this meltdown before, because, let's be honest, they have. So what's next? Rosie might take another swing, keeping the momentum alive. Trump might dig himself deeper with a fresh batch of incoherent insults or plot twist. Another celebrity jumps in, adding fuel to the fire. One thing's for sure, this feud isn't over. Rosie's living in Trump's head, rent-free, and the longer he fixates on her, the more she wins. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an update from us.
She pointed out that the man had the attention span of a goldfish on Red Bull and the moral compass of a used car salesman at a shady dealership. And Trump? Oh, he responded in the most Trumpian way possible by launching a full-scale Twitter war and randomly dragging her name into a presidential debate. Yes, the world was watching. He was asked about his long, well-documented history of degrading women, and instead of, answering like a functional adult, he used his airtime to go on yet another Rosie rant. Imagine standing on a global stage, given the opportunity to address serious political issues, and deciding that your greatest enemy isn't Russia, economic instability, or literal global warming. It's a comedian who hurt your feelings.